ZWIFT time.
ZWIFT time.
It's indoor cycling season now, and so in today's video, we're going to talk about the best budget-friendly ZWIFT indoor cycling setup. So my name is Cruz. For anyone new to the channel, I've been a long-time cyclist doing indoor cycling on ZWIFT here for the last few years. And I've tried a bunch of different setups. I know what works, I know what doesn't work. You really don't need that much money to get going, so I'm going to be talking about my best advice on how to get started on ZWIFT cheaply. And I've watched a lot of videos about this topic on YouTube actually, and a lot of them give some bad advice. So I'm going to be proposing an alternative to that advice and why that solution is better and doesn't really cost any more money. So let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So helping with today's video, we got my wife, Tunchan.
Hi.
You excited to do some ZWIFT cycling today?
Yes, I'm so excited.
So first we're going to show you guys our setup here, but for the budget-friendly setup, really you can use any bike that you have. We like to use an indoor stationary bike just because it's nice and solid and reliable, but don't worry if you don't have one of those. You can use one of your road bikes instead if you have an indoor trainer. You can use any kind of trainer. You can use a standard old school trainer. You can use rollers, or if you have the money, you can use a smart trainer. It doesn't matter, so whatever you have, you can use it for today's solution. So we're going to be using the spin bike. This is Tunchan's road bike over here. We've also got our folding bikes here. This is our new standing desk, which we're pretty excited about. And of course, we got our TV up here with ZWIFT. So to get started on ZWIFT, the first thing you need, of course, is the bicycle. We mentioned before, you can use a spin bike, you can use a normal road bike with an indoor trainer. Anything will work with that. The other thing you need is to download the ZWIFT application. You can do this on your computer. If you have a smart TV, we're connecting our computer to the TV with an HDMI cable. If you have a tablet, you can download it on the tablet. You can even do it on smartphones now. So that's really easy, the first two steps. And the last step that you need is something to connect your bicycle to your computer, to ZWIFT. And there's generally two different ways that you can connect. The first way that you can connect is with a speed sensor. And most ZWIFT budget-friendly videos mention that you should use this to connect to ZWIFT. And yes, it will get you on ZWIFT very cheaply, but it's horribly inaccurate. And an easy example of why the speed sensor doesn't work, for example, if we put it on the wheel of our indoor bike, that would give us a false assumption of what our actual speed is. So right now she's cycling with zero resistance and she can spin really fast. So you can see she's increasing her cadence, she's also increasing the speed of the wheel, and with just a speed sensor, it would assume that you're going really fast. But the speed sensor doesn't account for resistance and what gear you're in. So yeah, you can be spinning your lightest gear, but on a real road, you're not going to be going that fast. So let's add some resistance. So on a normal indoor trainer, you can up your gear, you can add the resistance in different ways. This one, we just twist the handle. What do you think, Tunchan? Is it getting easier, harder?
Yeah, harder.
Harder?
Heavy.
Heavy?
Yes.
Okay, let's add some more gear.
Oh man.
Oh man. Okay, you can see her cadence has dropped pretty significantly, and yeah, that speed sensor, it's not going to be a very accurate example of how fast you're cycling. This is of course true on the spin bike, where the pedal is directly connected to the flywheel. If you're using a normal road bike on a normal trainer, it can be the same thing, because if you're not adjusting the resistance of the trainer itself, you're just increasing the gears, yeah, you'll be in a bigger gear, you'll be able to increase your speed, but it doesn't exactly show how hard you're pushing. So you can see we've got our two choices here to get connected to ZWIFT. Yes, you can use the speed sensor to get connected to ZWIFT, but it's not going to be very accurate. Your workouts aren't going to be very consistent if you care about that. So I recommend using the power source. This is going to be a power meter. So there's power meter pedals, power meter cranks, smart trainers, but all of these solutions cost at least $500 to $1,000 or possibly even more. So today we're talking about the budget alternative. If you don't have any power meters, how can you get accurate power data? So the way my wife and I do this is we use this awesome application called HR2VP. It's on Android, it's on iPhone, and it converts your heart rate data into power meter data. And my wife and I, we've actually been using this application and paying for it with our own money for the last year. That's how good it is. That's how much we trust it. And we actually reached out to them to ask them if they'd be willing to help sponsor today's video. So a big thank you to HR2VP for sponsoring this video. It's a great application. We're going to be talking about it more in detail. So basically, this app converts your heart rate data into power meter data, and all you need to get going is a heart rate monitor. And most cyclists have a heart rate monitor already. If not, they're like $50 or so for a cheaper one. A lot more affordable than a power meter. If you're interested more in how they calculate your power data from your heart rate data, they've got some more information on their website. You can check it out. But I've run some tests myself comparing the data from my actual power meter pedals while running the application in the background and using the power data from the application, and it was surprisingly accurate. Especially on the longer intervals, it's really, really close. The main place where you're going to notice differences is in shorter efforts, for example, sprints, because the heart rate is a lagging indicator. It's not going to be able to recognize those instant changes in power. But in the overall efforts, for example, if you're doing like a minute effort or a 5-minute effort, or especially anything longer, it's going to be extremely accurate because it's all going to be averaged in and you're going to have some very accurate power numbers. So the way this application works is it receives the signal from your heart rate monitor, brings it into the app, and then it will relay a new signal to your computer. It works both in ANT+ and in Bluetooth. And you want to go into your settings to make sure that you have all your numbers in here correctly. So you want to put your resting heart rate in there. We're going to adjust my max. So my max is 195. I'll put my weight in there. I'm about 75 kilograms right now. And then you put your FTP in there. My FTP now is about 310. So that's it. And if you don't know your FTP, because normally you need a power meter to get that number, it can give you an estimate here using this calculation tool. There's other estimation tools that you can use online, and it doesn't really matter how accurate this is. The most important thing is that it's consistent. So hit save. The other cool thing with this application is it does have some structured workouts as well. So if you don't have a ZWIFT subscription or anything like that, you can just do workouts here. So you can check those out if you're interested. And you don't need to be using ZWIFT to use any of these workouts. You can just do these workouts as standalone workouts if you want, or you can use them while you're cycling on ZWIFT. So very cool. Let's go back and hit start riding. So here, if you haven't connected your devices yet, you're going to want to do that. So you've got 3 options here. We want to add our heart rate monitor and the cadence sensor and power meter. These are optional. You don't need these. So we've got our heart rate monitor added already. So here we go. We got the clock started. This is my current heart rate right now. And this is important. You want to make sure that you're warmed up before this is accurate. So the first few minutes is not going to be very accurate. You want to do a quick little warm up to get your heart rate going. So now our phone is going to be broadcasting this power signal and also broadcasting our heart rate signal. Unfortunately, with iPhones in this app, if you shut the screen off, it's going to shut off the broadcasting signal. That's not a problem with Android phones, so just be careful if you're using iPhone versus Android. It's a little bit more friendly with Android. You can also use some smartwatches instead. So if you don't want to use your phone, you can download the app to certain different smartwatches. They've got a list on their website for which smartwatches that they support. They've also got some other videos on their channel. You can check that out. So that's a nice alternative if you don't want to use your phone. So next we're going to search for our power source. We can see we've got the HR2VP here. Hit OK. And I'm also going to add my heart rate. It's also coming from the HR2VP, not from my actual heart rate monitor, but this is from the application, from the phone. So hit OK. And now we're ready to go. So on ZWIFT, you need only one of the top levels. One of these is required. The bottom ones are optional, so if you want to add your cadence data, you can do that. We'll hit OK. Let's just choose a quick world to go to. We're going Watopia today. So one of the main reasons we really like using spin bikes is because we can adjust it for both my size and for her size. The smart indoor bikes are just way too expensive, like $2,000, and this spin bike was only $300, so yeah, nice and budget friendly, really solid, reliable, never gonna break. We're also cycling with flat pedals. It doesn't really matter. The great thing about the solution is this solution works everywhere, so if you have a spin bike at home, it'll work. If you're using a spin bike at the gym, you can use this anywhere. And we do a lot of traveling, so we usually use hotel gyms or local gyms whenever we're traveling. So this is a nice way where we can still do our indoor cycling workouts and get it all stored on Zwift. So again, it's a good idea to get a quick little warm up in before you start your actual ride on Zwift. The reason for that is in the beginning, your heart rate is still really low. It's not in workout mode, so it's just gonna be fluctuating all over the place. So when I begin cycling here, you can see my heart rate now is only 58 beats per minute. So I'll start riding and you'll see it's not gonna notice the instant change right there that I've started riding. So just give yourself a minute or two to start getting in the groove, get warmed up, increase your gearing. So you can see my heart rate is now increasing to about 100 beats per minute. We're increasing our wattage up to about 100 watts. But yeah, once you're warmed up and ready to go, that's all you need. And you can see we're cycling here on Zwift for little to no extra money. We've got our heart rate monitor, which most people have, but if you don't, they're usually 50 to 100 bucks, somewhere in that range. And this application does actually cost a little bit of money. It's $3 a month, which is like, yeah, $30 for the full year, which is nothing compared to using an actual power meter. So yeah, max out-of-pocket money that this is going to cost you to get started is only $53, which is pretty great. Nice budget-friendly option. The other important thing you don't want to forget with your Zwift setup is your fan. It's getting a little hot in here. Fan, please.
Okay.
All right, next it's Tuing's turn. She's gonna get her workout in for today. So again, that's why we love this setup. We can just switch it between the both of us. We can both get our workout in. So some of the last important parts of the setup tour is, of course, we've got the fan, we've got the towel. What else is important?
Drink.
You want a drink?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
We've got our Pocari Sweat. No bottle cage on the spin bike, unfortunately. So that's it. That's our budget Zwift setup. Tung is going to continue on here with her workout, but hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this was useful for you. And if you have any other questions on how to get connected to Zwift and how any of this works, you can leave them down below and I'll try and answer all of your guys' questions. Again, we want to say a special thank you to HR2VP for sponsoring today's video. It's an awesome app. We've been using it for the last year and it's been doing great for us and allows us to continue getting our Zwift workouts in even without having the power meter. It actually started because we bought this spin bike. We were really excited about it and I was planning to use my power meter pedals, but unfortunately this spin bike was oversized and it doesn't work with my normal cycling pedal, so we had to find an alternative solution. We had some experience with this app in the past and we tried using it again and it's been great for us to be able to get our rides in on Zwift when the weather's bad here. We don't have as bad of a winter here in Vietnam, but we do have a lot of rain, so we're usually here in the rainy season. Let us know how it is with you guys in the winter for where you're watching from. And yeah, we'll have a link down below to everything that we're using in this video in case you're interested. And yeah, don't forget to cheer on Tuan-chan for her workout today. You can give her some kudos over on Strava. All right, have a good workout, Tuan-chan. That's it for today's video, guys. A big thank you, as always, for watching. A big thank you to all of our awesome supporters over on Patreon. Thanks to you guys' support, we're able to continue making more videos like this. We'll see you next time here on Tubo Cruise.